Welcome back. This is Wisconsin Shoe Guy, and this is a shoe review on a new pair of boots that I have from Tahura, which is an Indonesian brand. Now, this boot pair is actually a test in a couple different things. This is my first pair from Tahura, and this is my first pair in Cloe shell cordovan. So I really wanted to test it out and see kind of what I thought of it. Now, I think as these have been flexing and wearing, and you can see I've got a little bit of wear on them. I wore them a couple days on a business trip this week, that this shell over here had a lot of wax on it. I actually pulled quite a bit of wax off of my first full day wear, and you know, it kind of feels like a little brittle coming off on your fingers, right? So it's possible that there's more wax on the rest of it. I have to do a nice treatment to them, which I will. But, you know, this is this whiskey shell, and this is, again, it's from Cloe, and it's a very, very light. And you can see the color differentiation here where it flexed versus where it did not flex. And that is it's kind of cool. This almost looks more like natural versus the whiskey. So pretty excited about these. They are handmade. Tahura did the soles by hand. It's you know, it's all pretty tight, but you can see there's just a level of imperfection that's clearly by hand. It looks like they did all of this stitching up on the upper by hand as well, and definitely on the apron. And you can see this is a real mock toe. Now, the other thing about this and this last is really more for my foot. Like, I sent them a tracing of my size, and like my toe like touches the inside of the toe of the boot, which is considerably shorter than most of my other boots. So if I come and I take like a regular pair that I have, just like a regular factory pair, and you look at the difference, there's a huge difference in the size of the boots. And here, let me put them together like this, right? Now what that difference is here, this is really narrow and my foot is really wide. So here, this is really wide, and so it has no section above it on the toe. Now, I had a comment on my channel this week from somebody asking, how do you make sure that there isn't as much room in the front of the shoe? And the truth is, you either have the shoes made for you, like these were made for me, or you have to make sure, if you're gonna size down, that the shape of the last is really the same shape as your foot. And most of us don't have feet that come up to a narrow point. Most of us have feet that are very, very wide and then come in, right? So you just have your big toe and then your toes go over. But it's more this shape than these elongated toes. And the thing about these elongated toes is that your actual toes have quite a bit of room in front of them. So, because you really have to make sure that it fits on the side, because that's going to be what holds your foot in. It's going to be what prevents heel slip, and it's going to be what makes the shoe actually fit, because if it's too tight on the side, you just can't wear the boot. So, a little bit of food for thought as you think about that. Now, there's a couple of other things with the construction on this that I wanted to point out. Some really, really cool, and some I would say not so cool. So as I look at the construction, the first thing I'm going to do is talk about the finishing on the edges, right? Now here, this finish edge here looks really good, but there, not so good. They could have sewn that up and not had a little area there that, you know, is just going to continuously rip and get worse as time goes on. This part here, not necessarily skived very well, not as thin as it could be. It looks like they just took the mid piece and the lining and the upper and kind of sewed it together, so it's pretty thick. Now, you know, these were kind of expensive, but they are shell, which, you know, is typically a $600 to $800 upcharge on a pair of boots from any brand. Here you can see that this is in fact Cloe. It's an unlined tongue, which is really nice. Now these are pretty darn heavy. Now, it has a removable insole, but it's very thin, and you can see here all the nail work that they did inside on this leather insole. So this is the insole that it's crafted to, but for comfort, they put this one in now. But unlike like an orthotic, this is just super, super thin. You know, maybe now I have like insoles that I would get that are not part of the shoe, that are considerably thinner than this, right? That are ones to help, you know, for size correction. But that's what Tahura does. And at the end of the day, you know, this shell cordovan is fairly stiff, but they fit pretty darn well. And you know, so the cover that I'm including on this video has some pictures of me wearing it, and I'm very happy with the boots. Now the shape feels small because it is really contoured to my feet, right? I mean, if I can feel my toe here and I can feel my second toe, that's unheard of. I've never had that on a shoe before, but that's what you get when the fit is more precise. So so we talked a little bit about fit. We talked about wear, and you can see the sole wears pretty well. Now this is a very, very thick double sole, and you know, with a flat welt. Although you could do this with a storm welt, I think it would look pretty good. As a matter of fact, there's a little bit on the lasting that leaves a little bit to be desired there, and that would be hidden under a storm welt. So it's not bad, right? I mean, it's done by hand, but you know, that is something that, you know, I don't see on most of my boots. You know, that's just an observation for me on some of the things. Now, the lining on this is very, very rough. This is not a soft plush. It's really not a soft plush boot. It's just pretty darn stiff. Now it's getting better as I wear it, but you know, I'm gonna need to wear these a lot in order to soften them up, I think. And I don't know that it's ever gonna really soften up. I'm gonna spend some time with some you know, severe cordovan cream and kind of go to town on it, let it absorb up. So anyway, those are some thoughts on these boots. You know, I love trying new brands, and Tahura is one of those brands that I really wanted to try. They came very highly recommended from one of the gents that I know, and I really wanted to try a bunch of different brands from Indonesia and how they do their boots. So as some of the things in my personal life calm down, I'm going to continue that journey, hopefully here in the next couple months, and you know, try a couple of these other brands. But in the meantime, just reporting back on these, they are very nice. Now, I had one other pair of boots from the region, which is Midas boots. And I have to say that if Midas boots on a scale of 1 to 10 is an 8.5, 9, this is a 5. This is a really, really strong 5. So just want to make sure that is clear to everybody. So anyway, thank you for watching. This is Wisconsin Shoe Guy. Have a wonderful day, and you enjoy the night.